Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. My name's Anne and I live in the middle of Worcestershire with my husband and our dog, who may or may not be lying behind me. Might be episode 33, and as usual I decided to podcast today because it's nice outside, but it's very, very windy. I think there's a storm coming. Well, I know there's a storm coming, and I thought it would be nice to get another podcast up and done before the weekend. So today's Wednesday, and hopefully this will be up either Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, depending on what happens and how long I just happen to talk for. So how are you doing? Are you all right? I'm okay. Yeah, it's still winter, so I'm still feeling it a bit. But, you know, it's not going to get any better, so you just get on with it, don't you? Today we have got some, called the No Excuses podcast, so I'm not going to offer you any excuses. I have some progress. I have one finished item, and which I need to go and get actually, and I have some acquisitions. If I say it very fast, it might not, you know. But first of all, let's deal with the things. Just a reminder that we have 2 make-alongs going at the moment. The first one is the jump along that ends at the end of March. That is any adult size garment with sleeves of any length. So that covers everybody, depending on what season you're making for or you're sitting in. And we've had a few submissions over on Ravelry and a couple through Instagram as well, or you can email me. All my contact details are below. The second mail is something new in 2022, and again I'll put a hashtag down below, and there is a Ravelry thread open, and I am not going to be judging you on the complexity of what you're trying new. If you've not done it before, you can enter it in, you know, very loose rules. Yeah, so put something in there, and this will be, I think I said I'd draw for it. I can't remember when I said I'd draw for it. It was April and then August and then the end of the year. Purely because I want to get the end of year prize sent out early, because I'm thinking of doing something Advent themed or similar. So yeah, so those are the mails. Any questions? You know where I am. I want to thank you all for your very positive response to Tom's first question sorry, I'm fiddling about and you can now see my microphone. It looks like a cat, doesn't it? Move that slightly. Right, okay. It's because I'm fiddling. I am a fiddler and I've got things in front of me, so sit back, Anne, and behave. Tom's first question was, what was the oldest things in your stash? And some of you had things going back, you know, 20 years or more, 30 years, 40 years. And I think it's incredible that you can remember how far back. And some of those items were special yarns. They were either very special yarns that meant something to you. They were from parents, grandparents, or you'd bought them and you had not yet decided on the pattern because you wanted it to be special. Or some of them I read were sort of, I don't know what to do with this, so I've never used it type of thing. Yeah, so the 2 opposites of the scale, if you like. So yeah, really, really interesting, and thank you for responding to that. And Tom's question for today is that I've got all these things, apparently, he's listed them all. Knitting, embroidery, I don't really do, but cross stitch, crochet, sewing now, although I only pretend at that really. And I've got kits for colouring, needle felting, painting, scratching, diamond painting, you name it, I've got a kit for it almost. And what he wants to know is, how many things have you got do you have a go at, try, you know, what's the breadth of your crafting or your hobbies? Do you do something really unusual? Do you do woodworking or metalworking? Tom's a welder by trade, and you know, do any of you weld? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? So yeah, answers down below on a postcard or in an email or on Instagram. Yeah, let me know. It's nice hearing the different things you do, and who knows, you might suggest something I fancy trying I've not thought of, and I can add it to my own list. Or paper cutting, that's another thing. I bought a kit early on in lockdown, first 2020, for a paper cutting kit with scalpels, you know. Bought this lovely book, and I've never had a go at that either. So I want to, but it's just so easy to pick up my knitting. Yeah. I'm hoping there's no crackles on today's podcast, and I won't know until I start the editing process. I don't know what causes it. Hopefully it doesn't interfere with your viewing too much. I've tried different things like an external microphone. Doesn't seem to get rid of it. I was intending to film today with Tom's phone, which is a little bit more modern than mine, but I've sort of forgot and thought, oh well, I'll just do another one with my phone and we'll see how we get on. But I'll try that next time. So yes, now let's get on to the making, shall we? Now the first thing I want to show you, I will stop the video in a minute and go and get the finished item, which is the shawl that I was knitting last time. So I'm going to tell you about my works in progress, how we stand at the moment. I have nearly finished Tom's cardigan, but I can't show it you because I've put it in a big bag. It's sitting in a big yellow bag behind me, a lovely cotton canvas bag made by Tudor Rose Craft Studio, I think. I'll put her name down below. I've got two of her big bags. I can't remember where the purple one is actually. And if I don't know where the purple project bag is, what's it got inside it? But anyway, Tom sort of tried it on, but we've got to the stage now that I'm doing the shawl collar. But I need another skein of yarn. I've already used 100 grams on the collar, and most of it is done. I'd say about 80% is done, if not more than that. But I've asked Libby of Needle and Thread to do me 2 more skeins. I only probably need 1, but I think it would make a super hat. I've got a couple of little bits. So my nose is itching. I am a fiddler, I told you that. I've got a couple of little bits left over, but I don't really want to put them into the collar because I don't want too many seams in the collar, you know, too many ends sewn in. So I thought, well, if I just have because it's beautiful yarn, I'm going to make use of it. I'll make a lovely hat out of the extra skein. Then Libby said she'll dye me another 2, and that will take it up to 1.1 kilos, 1,100 grams of yarn in his cardigan. Tried it on earlier. I got a couple of long cables from my Knit Pro kit, and they've got a nice big round tie-offs that you can tie on the end, because I haven't actually got those from my hire shops. I tend to use just little safety pin light bulb stitch markers if I'm just transferring from one needle cable to another when using my sharps. But I don't want to leave it in a bag like that because I think the stitches, because it's been knit on a 5mm needle, so the stitches are quite large anyway, and I think if they given any room to move, they'll just jump over the stitch marker. So I've put them on a cable, 2 cables, and he sort of tried it on, and despite me trying to get these sleeves short enough, they're still a bit too long. Of course it's all sewn up now, there's no way I'm undoing it, but he'll have to fold over the cuffs. And that's because although he's very broad shouldered, the shoulders are nice and wide on this one. So when you measure from the armholes, obviously you're not measuring from right up in your armholes, and it didn't do that. But you don't know until you try it on, do you really? So yeah, I'm pleased with it. It looks nice. He thinks the pockets are a bit small, which is fair comment. I didn't think too much about that because I'm trying to get it knitted for the second time. But overall, I think it's going to be a hit. The collar looks gorgeous. It's short rows on the collar. I'm doing the pattern calls for wrap and turn. I'm doing German short rows because I find them easier. I don't think I've ever done wrap and turn. So, and I can't see them. So, it's a 1x1 rib. Pattern calls for 2x2, but I don't know why I started doing all my ribbing 1x1, and I've left it at that. So I'm very pleased with it, and by the time, maybe not next time I see you, because Libby said it might be a couple of weeks before she get the yarn to me, but very soon, hopefully before summer, you'll be able to wear it. You can probably see I'm wearing one of my City Limits. This one is, I don't know whether it's number 2 or 3. This has just got a rolled collar, sort of, and it goes all the way down to, I can't remember what I was wearing last time, but I've spent all week this week indoors. I've not been out anywhere. I've had a nice long rest. I think I knitted for too long yesterday on the collar. I wanted to try and get it finished because I'm so near to finishing the cardigan that I thought, if I don't need those 2 extra skeins, I need to tell Libby as soon as possible, but I do. So there we go. It's not that easy being a knitter, is it? And the only other thing I've worked on, let me move a couple of things out of the way, is this. Now this is new to you because last time I showed you Tom's scrappy blanket, I was doing the little granny squares on a 3mm needle. But I thought about it and I decided that actually that wasn't really going to work because A, I'd have to, it was taking up too much yarn. I decided on really small squares, but I decided it was going to be a bit too intensive and it was going to take me far too long to make, and I'd probably go off it and end up leaving it somewhere. So instead I cast on, it's crochet again, a scrappy blanket. Yay! And look how much I've done. I've got about 14 inches deep. It's not ultra wide. In fact, it's only a little bit wider than my handspan, so it's not very wide at all. But I am going to go around it and do a border. And literally, all it is, if I put it closer to you, is it's 2 strands of any yarn that I've got. Oh, I'm happy to donate to Tom's blanket. And I'm doing a row of trebles. These are all UK terms, so that's a double in the US. Row of trebles, row of doubles, which is single in the US. A row of half trebles, presumably that's half doubles. You're going to be so confused. And then another row of double stroke single crochet. And that's giving me this slightly, it's just giving me just a little bit of texture without it being all doubles and all trebles all the time. So you can see there's a different height in some of the rows. It's not coming out that clearly. But what I wanted a pattern where I could just dive into the gaps and not into the top of the stitch. So it took me about 3 or 4 attempts to decide on what I wanted to do. And I'm really pleased that it's growing so fast. I'm keeping it in my yarn bowl, which is one that Tom made me from IKEA. This is an IKEA bowl. It's made out of wood block, as you can see, all smashed together. Bamboo, I think. And he got his Dremel out and cut me a little whizzy bit. But I don't actually use that bit because it gets caught in it. I might get him to take the little tick bit away. And at the moment, I've got this magic ball. It's very nice. You can see it's going to change colour soon. And I've got this magic ball. So I've got magic balls galore. And then I will show you in a minute. I bought some drops to add to it because I know I'm not going to have enough yarn. I'm not giving him any of my pastel stuff that I like, because that'll either become another blanket for me, but it's more likely to become something like this for me, or even, yeah, another mild jumper, I think. So that's the progress I've made on the cardigan, which you can't see, and the scrappy blanket. I'm going to go and find my finished object. Sit still, don't fidget. Did you move? I'm like some rubbish teacher. Oh, right, this is the Bojagi shawl. I don't think I'd finish it last time. This is it. This starts at this end here, and it's been knit in the Turning Tides, 2 out of the 3 that Helen of Giddy Yarns did. So there's a little bit of a mosaic stripe, a rather nice lace. Obviously it's not been blocked, and I think I was in an argument about what to do at the end. Did another thingy, and I've got a fair amount of the lighter coloured yarn. Let me get that closer to you. You can see the speckles in it. Of the lighter yarn left, and I had a little nugget of this left, which I put in the blanket, and I couldn't get it undone, so I just chopped it in half because I got so batty with it. So none of that will be going into Tom's blanket at his rate. I do have another 3 skeins of this yarn, including the middle one, which isn't in here, and I'm going to make something out of that at one point. But who knows, you know. So that's my Bojagi shawl, and I'm quite pleased with that. It knitted up fairly quickly, and that's my first of my 12 cast-ons done. I would have taken this whole segment out if I showed you this last time. So, depending on whether I showed you that last time and I've cut that segment out, depends on what I say next, or does it? Oh, does it matter? No. So now I've put the cardigan away and I've got my crochet blanket to do in the evening. I need to carry on and do something during the day, and I think it's going to be the shoreline cardigan that I'm knitting up for Michelle, because I'd like to get that off the needles, blocked and out of the house by the end of March. We've got another 2 weeks, well, less than 2 weeks now of February, so they will, the year's already galloping away, isn't it? So yeah, I want to get on with that and get that out of the way. I sort of want to do my kudzu cardigan because I could wear that, but I'm thinking, no, let's get the things that I'm knitting for other people out of the way as much as I can, and then I can concentrate on me. So we have some acquisitions. Last time I said I got some fabric, but I still haven't done that, so it will have to be for next time. But my sister-in-law found these for me. She works at Hobbycraft, so she recommended these to me, and they are some Jules fat quarters, and they're Christmas ones. So there's 4, and they're not huge, but they are quite pretty. I do like that one. And then a nice stripe. And I'm thinking that I will make bags for these nearer to Christmas and put those 2 together and just do simple sock bags, I think, towards giveaways and things. And those 2 I think are nice as well. They're not too, they're sort of a bit Christmas. They've got holly on and canes and geese wrapped in so it's sort of winter stroke Christmas, but they're very nice. So I've got 3 of those, and they're going to be super to work with, and I should be making something out of those later in the year. So that was one acquisition. Then my Telling Yarns, this is the last one in my Chamber of Secret Hogwarts thingy bob doodah that I'm getting from Telling Yarns. I signed up to a 6-month set club type thing, and this is the last one. So this is coming up quite well, isn't it, away from the light? Isn't that lovely with the purples and everything? And this is British 4-ply, and it's called Dawn Escape. and mustard and everything. It feels really nice. It is a bit toothy, as I've said before. 100 grams skein, 388 meters. I think it's non-super wash. It's hand wash only. I'm going to put all these together because they go from fairly dark to very light. I don't know what to do with it. I think I'm going to make a nice stripy jumper out of them by perhaps holding, because I've got 600 grams, and that should be enough even for me if I don't do it on too tight a gauge. But it feels like it might wear nicely actually. It's got a nice little twist on it and things, and it's a bit fluffy. You see? I want to make good use of it because it wasn't cheap. You know, it's I want to make sure I get some value out of it. You know, I love the colours and everything. And because it's not merino, it doesn't come out in the colours that she shows on the website, which is fine. I accepted that because she did say it would be more subtle on the British BFL. So yeah, I'm going to make good use, turning yarns. Good use of it. Again, suggestions on a postcard, please, because at the moment I'm thinking jumper, stripy. I love stripes, and I could do the dark with the light in between type of thing. So yeah, boxy maybe. Yeah. And then I don't know if you noticed in the media or anything, but it was Valentine's Day this week, and we don't really do Valentine's Day. It's alright, I just noticed something. Hold on a minute. Our compost bin's just falling apart in the wind. Tom's going to have a look at the compost bin. Anyway, I was talking about Valentine's Day, wasn't I? That was on whatever day it was. What day is it today? Anyway, so if it was the, do you know, I can't add up for toffee, 18th, 16th. So it was Monday, wasn't it? Valentine's Day was Monday, and we don't do cards or anything really. So I saw some yarn and I said to Tom, do you want to buy me something for Valentine's Day? And he went, yeah, okay. Yeah, what? He said, send me the link and I'll pay for it. I said, no, it's all right. I'll do it through my Etsy account. Actually, I saw this on Instagram, and it is by Jane of Ravelry I Yarns, and it's called Songbird. You see the speckles? Oh, look at those speckles. It's a lovely brown. Isn't that beautiful? And I went to buy 2 because I thought that would make a nice shawl, and she only had 3 left, so I thought I can't leave that one behind, can I? So I've got 3 of these from my Valentine's presents off my lovely husband, and I bought him a packet of Marks and Spencer's chocolate chip cookies, you know, the big ones in the pack. You only get 8, but he was pleased, and he shared them with me. He had more than me, but he shared them with me, so I enjoyed those too. He's just gone and completely demolished the compost bin now, so bits can't fly around. But yeah, he said it's quite nice out. It's warm wind for this time of year, you know, but it's very strong wind. Hopefully, you know, we'll be all right. So yes, that's Songbird. And then I've also ordered some yarn from Kaz, because like everybody that saw it, or most people that saw it, fell in love with her quarry colour. So I've ordered that and something else I had my eye on for a little while. But that was a pre-order, so that won't come through for a bit. Let me have a slurp of my orange and soda. That looks bright, doesn't it? And then I had an email from Wool Warehouse, and I have got into the habit of just deleting them without looking at them. But it said drop sale. and I thought I'm going to go and have a look, because my mum's been saying she wanted some Drops Fable. The Fable's not actually included in the sale, but I thought I'd really like some more Drop Soft Tweed, because it was really nice and soft to knit with. And I've got my idea on having a mustard and pink and another colour striped jumper. Now, I'm supposed to be on a no-buy year, which Tom predictably said I wouldn't stick to. But I've got an excuse for everything. No excuses podcast. I can lay it on thick. And then my parcel. So I went and had a look for the drop stuff, but I couldn't find it anywhere at the same price with the quantity I wanted. So I gave up on the Drop Soft Tweed, and I started having a look at the more commercial brands, the other commercial brands I should say. And I went and I saw something, I can't remember what weight or what, I saw something that had a similar mix of yarns to things like felted tweed and soft tweed, but very different ratios. And I thought, I'm going to try one of these, and I'm only doing this, right, for the sake of the podcast. It's only an experiment. I've only bought this so I can share it with you. Such a bad liar. And then Tom said, it came this morning, Tom said, why don't you do an unboxing? So I'm going to. Please, if you've got headphones on, right, this has come in one of Warehouse's bags. So I'm going to be as smart as I can. I'm picking it up and showing you a great big bag. Come. And I'm going to be doing the snipping of the, it says do not use snips. I know what I'm doing. She says, if I do it right up here. It is quite a full bag, but what it meant, you see, I won't order from Wool Warehouse, like a lot of you will be nodding their head when I say this, unless I can get up to the £25 free postage limit. So I tend to, so I'm watching what I do here, because purposefully, because they've got this, I've not seen this tape before, I've got scissors, with a line through it saying do not use scissors to open the bag. I must have had some complaints. We've opened the bag. And what was I saying? Yeah, I don't know what I was saying. So I'm going to get all the stuff out. I'm going to pause the video while I empty everything, and then I'm going to show. No, I'm going to. This is the yarn I bought. This is coming out. Yeah, it's what we call the dusky pink. It's King Cole Forest. Is that showing? Yeah, the King Cole Forest. It's recycled yarn. It's 100 grams, and weirdly, this is called Wire Forest, and you can see the makeup there. Wire Forest is in Kidderminster. It's part of Worcestershire. It's another district council. I live in Wychhaven, and Wire Forest is a wooded area. It would have been, I don't know the history of it actually, but Kidderminster, Bewdley area, Stourport are within the Wire Forest District Council, and beyond that you have a forest, you know, trials that you can take your mountain bike and go to this. I wouldn't call it a forest, wood. Extended wood, and it feels nice. This does. I say it's a pink. It's got it's heathered rather than tweedy. I think it's got quite a dry feel to it. And as you saw there, this is an aran weight, so it recommends 5mm needles, 35% wool, 20% acrylic, 20% polyamide, 25% viscose. But you get a good 300 metres for 100 grams, which I think, you know, it is good. So I bought several of these. I'll take these out really quickly. I think I bought 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, £1.27. And then I bought some, Mum wanted the Very Berry Fable. She wanted 2 of those because they're £2.30 each. They're 50 grams, they're 50 grams, but they're really nice sock wool. In fact, I've got a pair of socks on that she's just knitting me. So those 2 are for Mum. That's all I needed to order, really. And I've got all these other things. And I ordered some Drops Fable for me to put into Tom's socks because it was such good value for money. So I bought this one, which is a green with a bit of pink in it. I bought that one, which is orange, cream and purpley. And then I bought this, which is just a purple. And I'll turn them into magic book. Well, I'll just crochet with them into Tom's blanket. And then I'll put the bag down and I'll tidy up in a sec. But I've also got, I've bought a couple of sewing related items as well. Accessories enclosed. Put this open. I was looking for some Schmetz needles which they sell. So I'm hoping, I can't remember what I've bought accessory wise, and I'm finding this really difficult to get into. It's a jiffy bag and I think they've sealed it too well. Oh look, shall I just rip it? I usually like to reuse these. So we have got some Schmetz Microtex needles 7010, so they're reasonably fine. A humper jumper for when you're doing thick items, you put it under your foot and it helps the sewing machine to go over, keeps your stitch length even. And then I bought some Schmetz 8012 universals as well. And I think that's it. Yeah. So that's my little haul from... Sorry, it just felt really stiff at the bottom, but it's just a bit that's folded over. So that's my little haul from the warehouse. And as I say, I've only bought this because I'm doing a podcast and I wanted to be self-sacrificing, and no, that's not true. I think I said last time that Mum had bought some felted tweed from the shop in Worcester, and we were looking at patterns to make from it, and the Lady Marple was one of them, and that's a worsted stroke aran pattern. So I've been looking for the yarn because I've got a lot of double knitting. Aran's as thick as I would go for me personally, because I think a chunky yarn on me being so short and wide feels a bit heavy on me. I did have a chunky, lovely pistachio coloured rowing yarn, all wool, a few years ago, but I didn't wear it because it just looked a bit big on me. I haven't got the height. So this is my excuse to buy this. Now, bear in mind, this is £2.99 a ball, so it cost me 21 quid for 7 balls. And I should have, I want to knit with it because I keep buying more expensive yarn. But sometimes I feel I can't wear it, as often as I'd like, because I want to keep it for longer. And you get this paradox between, knitting something you really, really like and then thinking, well, I want to save it for when I go out and stuff. So my idea here is to knit something like the Lady Marple and see how it wears, and I'm hoping that it might wear quite well. I don't know about the pilling. I mean, it doesn't look like it's a very thick aran to me. You can't tell, can you? When I compare it to, well, if I hadn't put Tom's cardigan away, but when I look at it next to the BFL, the British 4-ply, that's yeah, I suppose it does look a bit bigger, doesn't it? The pink on the right. So yeah, so I'm going to have a go at that. Now, the Lady Marple is knitting one piece up to the armhole, and Mum said she doesn't know whether she fancies, doing that. And also I said to her, I've got an Aran family pattern book that you can take she could decide what size she wants, and she could add her own pattern to the front, and then she can do a crew neck or a V-neck, whichever she prefers. And I think I'm going to do the same rather than buying another pattern, because I know that those books fit me. So I've got a stitch dictionary, haven't I, if I want to do anything like that. In fact, I did that with the Wensleydale long wall. I knitted it not last year, the year before, and that was Aran weight, and that's turned out really well. There's a really nice navy cardigan that I've got, so I'm going to do the same with this. Put some sort of pattern up the front and maybe along the bottom of the sleeves and things like that. Anyway, either way, I'll have fun. So yeah, that was my a bit naughty really, considering I said I wouldn't be buying anything. Well, I have bought tickets for Wonderwall on the Sunday. I ummed and ahed about it, because normally getting FOMO about yarn shows, I want to be there at 10 o'clock when everybody opens and everybody got all their stock, but in an effort to cut down on what I'm going to buy, and also in an effort to because I want to meet some other people that are already going, I know are going on a Sunday. Then Sunday, I think the roads will be quieter, hopefully. It's a 2-hour journey for me from here. I think it's Worcester, Leicester, and then Kington, and then Bilth. So it's a nice trip in the countryside if it's not raining. But yeah, very pretty to the Herefordshire countryside. Bit of black and white village going on. Perhaps take some pictures or do a bit of video. Certainly walk around with my selfie stick, maybe. We'll see. But that's not until the end of April. So I would say if you're anywhere near Wonderwall, it is a very good yarn show. Accessibility wise, I find it very good. I would never go to Yarndale because I hear horror stories about the flooring, because it's like Wonderwall, it's in animal sheds, but the difference is a lot of grooves, for the animals pee and everything, and they get washed down, and they put grooves in the floor, I think, and on the rough concrete, but that makes it very difficult for wheelchairs. You'd lose your teeth by the end of the day when you go like cobbles are no good for wheelchairs really. So I would never go to Yarndale for that reason. It put me off. I mean, if you go down Yarndale in a wheelchair, let me know. Although I'm not sure I'd travel that far for a yarn show. And also, I hear it gets really, really, really busy. And you can't see anything in a wheelchair if something's busy. You can't even see where you're supposed to be going, because people they don't know you're behind them. And people step back and they nearly sit on you, or they hit you in the face with their bags. Especially since people have got this habit of swinging their rucksacks onto their back, or shoulder bags and things, and you're, and it's not because you're too close to them. People naturally move. So yeah, I found Wonderwall. I've been twice and I found it very good access-wise. So if you need good access, you get excellent free parking. Very close to the sheds that the show is held in, and there are at least 2 decent disabled toilets that I know of that I've found on the showground. There might even be more, I'm not sure, but yeah, I'd recommend it from an access point of view. I've got the tickets, it's ticket only, and as Anita from Gaga Knit said to me, got to check that I've got everything I need to go to Wales, because it is another country. Border patrol. Oh dear. So I'm hoping to meet up with a few of you. My aim is, personally, is to get there for opening time, have a whiz round, and then hopefully meet up with people. Yeah. and see. The question, do I need to take myself a limit? You know what I mean? Do I take cash and then say that's all I'm going to do, or put a limit on myself, you know? But I think I'm going for a specific thing. I'm going to have a look for specific things, I think, like sweater quantities of, if I want to make a certain outfit, a certain jumper, so that I haven't already got wool for. No, I'm going for the ride. I am. I'm driving, but you know what I mean. I'm going for the ride. I'm going to enjoy myself. Hopefully, meet people that I've seen on screen and not yet met. But that doesn't mean I won't be going to South Wales at some point either. So I'm obviously waffling. What have I done? I don't know. I've not done anything this week. Last week I went to Merry Hill with my friend Tanis on the Monday. We had a look round. It was quite nice actually. It was really, really quiet. I've never seen it that quiet. That was a week ago on Monday. And it's a bit worrying because they were talking about being in trouble. It's a big centre. Talking about being in trouble before COVID. So I don't know whether they're going to survive. Yeah. What do we have? Because, you know, I like to talk about food. I think we got something from Greg's in the end. Yeah, I think we got a sandwich from Greg's. And I went and had a Krispy Kreme donut. And it was okay. Way overpriced. We sat down and we had a drink. And I had a hot chocolate because I was hungry. I thought this will fill me up a bit. But the hot chocolate was far too sweet. I don't usually take any sugar in my drinks. So hot chocolate, I'd have it if I'm not. I mean, anyway, I had a donut and a hot chocolate and didn't finish obviously finished the donut, but not the hot chocolate. And then I don't think I bought anything significant actually. Bought a few things, bit of food from my M&S. Didn't buy any clothing, and I don't think Denise did either. So it was a bit of a, let's walk around and have a look, and had a look around the makeup and the skincare, and she showed me some new skincare to her called, it's on my phone, that she found from Holland and Barrett and Boot Sellers as well, that she really likes. And there's a lot of skincare brands now that are high street prices but are performing well. So I want to look into that a little bit more. And then, so that was on the Monday, and then on the Wednesday morning, I picked my sister-in-law up, who lives about a mile down from my mum. Picked my sister-in-law up, Naomi, the lady who works in Hobbycraft. And we went to pick my mum up, and we went to Longbridge M&S, which is supposed to be the biggest in Europe, I think. It's a large M&S, very, very quiet again. But there were queues at the tills, and the food was busy-ish. Didn't buy anything, saw some lovely things I liked, including a very pretty green top I'll put a photograph in actually, with a yoke where it comes like Empire line. So it flows out from above the bust with a bit of lace and then puffy sleeves. Very, very boho 1970s that I really, really like, and I'm tempted to buy it, but then I keep saying to myself, well, you can make one and it'll be good practice for you. Fairly simple pattern. I've got patterns that are similar to this that are good, or I've even got what I call a smock top, is what I'd call it. But then I've got vouchers from my mother-in-law for Christmas and birthday, so maybe I could spend it on that. I'll see. Could order it, I suppose, couldn't I? Try it on at home, and then there we go. And that's it. I haven't done any sewing. I've been furiously knitting away on the cardigan to try and get it done for the second time. And yeah, so in a minute, when I've tidied all this up, I'll start the editing process. But by this evening, hopefully I can come back in here into our back room and get going on Michelle's cardigan again, or tomorrow morning at the latest. Start plodding through that. Yeah. So that's all I've got to say today. It's not a very long chat. Either that or I've just talked very, very quickly. But I like to keep in touch with you. I don't want to leave too long a gap before we speak again. I need to look and see where my my potiversary is. And I've got a few new subscribers, so thank you very much for subscribing. I hope I can keep you entertained, interested, yeah, and maybe interacting with us. I found out that the 2 parcels, I know the one reached Scotland fairly quickly, but those parcels that went to Australia and Canada have also reached their destination safely. So I'm really pleased about that, because that was a bit of a worry after the one that was going to Vancouver in America just before Christmas, which took like way over 2 months, and that's why I do not want to. I took 2 months. Why I don't want to send anything that near to Christmas internationally again. So I'm fiddling. I've got to fiddle with something. I'll stop being stupid. I'm going now. I have nothing else to say. Nothing at all. I could waffle forever, you know that. So yeah, I've acquired some stuff and I've got a few things coming, and I will keep telling myself I want to know by year. Yeah, I'm keeping a track of it all. So I'm being honest and upfront on my spreadsheet. I should get points for that, I think. I'll see you soon. I'm waffling, I'm gooey. Ta-da. I'll see you, bye.